5 years later. I stood in the kitchen of our new house. A bigger place in Westchester with a yard and a dog and room for everyone, preparing dinner for 8. Jessica's work colleagues were coming over, along with Victoria and her family. Mom. Emma won't stop copying me. Daniel, now 12 and in the throes of middle school angst, called from upstairs. Emma, our 4-year-old daughter whom we'd adopted 2 years ago, came running into the kitchen. Bubba's being mean. Daniel, be nice to your sister. I called. Then to Emma. What was he doing? Playing his video games and not paying attention to me. Well, he's allowed to have time to himself sometimes. Why don't you help me set the table instead? Okay. Jessica came home just as I was pulling the roast from the oven, loosening her tie as she walked through the door. Something smells amazing. Your wife is a culinary genius, that's what smells amazing, I said, accepting her kiss. Also, she's very humble. That too. Daniel thundered down the stairs. Mom. Tell other mom that she needs to knock before coming into my room. I didn't know you were changing. Emma protested. I had my door closed. All right, both of you, Jessica intervened. Daniel will get you a lock for your door. Emma, you need to respect your brother's privacy. Can we all be civilized for the next 3 hours? Please. They both grumbled agreement and dispersed. Jessica collapsed into a chair with a dramatic sigh. Long day? I asked. The longest. 3 meetings, 2 conference calls, and a negotiation that nearly made me scream. She watched me work for a moment. How do you do it? Do what? Make everything look so effortless. The house, the kids, the dinner parties, your online cooking show. My online cooking show that has 12 followers, 10 of whom are family members? Still, you juggle everything so gracefully. I wiped my hands and came to sit on her lap. First of all, it's not effortless. It's controlled chaos. Second, I have an amazing partner who supports me and splits the load. Third, I love what I do. Even when Daniel's being a preteen nightmare and Emma's in her why phase? Especially then. This is exactly what I wanted, Jessica. This messy, chaotic, beautiful life with you. She kissed me softly. I still can't believe you're mine. Believe it. You're stuck with me forever. Promise. Promise. The doorbell rang, announcing the arrival of our guests, and the house filled with noise and laughter and life. Victoria immediately started telling embarrassing stories about me in culinary school. Her kids joined Daniel and Emma in some elaborate game involving the dog and every pillow in the house, and Jessica's colleagues turned out to be warm and funny. Later, after everyone had left and the kids were in bed, Jessica and I stood in our bedroom helping each other out of our clothes. Thank you, she said suddenly. For what? For this life. For saying yes that day in Italy. For adopting Emma with me. For being the most incredible partner and mother. She cupped my face in her hands. For loving me even when I'm difficult. Especially when you're difficult, I corrected, smiling. That's when you need it most. How did I get so lucky? You hired me to be your nanny, I said, wrapping my arms around her waist. Best business decision you ever made. Second best, she corrected. The best was falling in love with you. We kissed slow and deep, and even after all these years I still felt that spark, that electricity that had been there from the beginning. Come to bed, Jessica murmured against my lips. Demanding. You love it. I did. I loved everything about her. Her strength and her vulnerability, her ambition and her tenderness, the way she looked at me like I was the most precious thing in her world. We made love slowly, taking our time, relearning each other's bodies the way we did every time. After 5 years of marriage, 7 years together, we'd moved past the frantic urgency of new love into something deeper, more grounded. We knew each other's rhythms, knew exactly how to touch, how to please, how to draw out the pleasure until we were both trembling. Afterward, we lay tangled together, her head on my chest, my fingers tracing lazy patterns on her back. Do you ever miss it? She asked quietly. Your old life? Before all this? Never. Not even once. I kissed the top of her head. Do you? Sometimes I miss the simplicity. When it was just me and Daniel, and I didn't have to worry about being a good wife or making time for romance or... Jessica. I tilted her face up to look at me. You're an amazing wife. And we make time for what matters. I just want to be enough. For you, for the kids, for the company. You are enough. More than enough. And you don't have to be perfect at everything. She smiled, but I could see the insecurity lingering in her eyes. Even after all this time, she still struggled with the need to control everything to be perfect. "What if I mess it up?" she whispered. "What if I let you down? Then we'll figure it out. Together." That's what marriage is, Jessica. It's not about being perfect. It's about choosing each other, every day, even when things are hard. "When did you get so wise?" "I told you I've always been wise." She laughed and kissed me again. "I love you so much." "I love you too. Now sleep." Emma's going to be up at the crack of dawn wanting pancakes shaped like butterflies or some other impossibly complex request. "How do you know?" "Because she told me 17 times today that she wants butterfly pancakes for breakfast." Jessica groaned. Of course she did. We settled into sleep, her body warm against mine, and I thought about how far we'd come. From that first interview when I'd been so nervous I could barely speak, to this moment. Married, parents, partners in every sense of the word. It hadn't always been easy. There had been arguments and misunderstandings, moments when the stress of juggling careers and children and life threatened to overwhelm us. Times when Jessica worked too much and I felt neglected, or when I got too focused on the kids and she felt like an afterthought. But we'd learned to communicate, to fight fair, to come back together even after the hardest disagreements. We'd learned that love wasn't just a feeling. It was a choice, a commitment, a daily practice of showing up for each other. And every morning I woke up and chose her. Chose this life. Chose us. The next morning I woke to small hands shaking my shoulder. Mom, wake up. I want butterfly pancakes." I cracked one eye open to find Emma's face inches from mine, her blonde curls, so like Jessica's, bouncing with excitement. "What time is it?" I mumbled. 6:30. "That's morning time." Beside me, Jessica groaned and pulled a pillow over her head. "Emma, sweetheart, it's Saturday. Sleep is a beautiful thing." "But Mom promised butterfly pancakes."
You have reached this point. Please subscribe for more. Thank you.
"Other Mom promised," Jessica corrected, her voice muffled. "I'm just the boring business mom." "You're not boring." Emma climbed onto the bed, bouncing. "You're the mom who tells the best stories and gives the best hugs, and flattery will get you everywhere," Jessica said, emerging from under the pillow and pulling Emma into a hug. "But your other mom is still making the pancakes." "Fine," I said, sitting up. "But only because you asked so nicely. And because you're adorable." "I know." Emma beamed. I threw on yoga pants and a t-shirt, then headed downstairs with Emma chattering beside me about her plans for the day, which apparently involved teaching the dog to dance and building a fairy castle in the backyard. Daniel was already in the kitchen making himself cereal. At 12 he'd grown tall and lanky, all elbows and attitude, but when he smiled I still saw the sweet 6-year-old who'd asked if I knew about dinosaurs. "Morning, buddy," I said, kissing the top of his head. "Morning." He ducked away from the kiss but smiled. "Can Jake come over today?" "Sure. But you two need to actually spend time together, not just play video games in separate rooms." "We hang out in the same Discord call while gaming doesn't count as hanging out." He rolled his eyes but agreed. Parenting a preteen was an adventure in negotiation and picking battles. Some days I missed the simplicity of dinosaur facts and Lego builds. I started on the butterfly pancakes, which required more artistry than I'd possessed pre-coffee, but Emma supervised carefully, making sure each wing was properly proportioned. Jessica appeared just as I was plating the last pancake, looking rumpled and beautiful in her pajamas, her hair still messy from sleep. "Coffee," she mumbled, making a beeline for the machine. "Already brewing. This is why I married you. I thought it was my sparkling personality and incredible good looks." "That too." She poured herself a cup and took a long sip, her eyes closing in bliss. "Okay, I'm human now." We ate breakfast together, all four of us, the morning sun streaming through the windows. Emma chattered about fairy castles, Daniel complained about his math homework, and Jessica and I exchanged glances over our coffee, those small moments of connection that said we're in this together. This was happiness, I thought. Not the grand gestures or passionate declarations, but these quiet morning moments. The ordinary magic of family. After breakfast, while Jessica took Emma to the park and Daniel disappeared into his room with his friend, I found myself in my home office, preparing for the next episode of my cooking show. It had started as a whim 2 years ago. sharing family recipes online, talking about the stories behind the food. To my surprise, it had grown. What had been 12 followers was now 50,000. I'd been approached about a cookbook deal and there was talk of a television pilot. "You're going to be famous," Victoria had told me last week. "The next big celebrity chef." "I don't want to be famous," I'd replied. "I just want to share food and stories." But it was exciting having something that was mine. I loved being a mother, loved being Jessica's wife, but it was nice to have an identity beyond those roles too. I was editing footage when my phone rang. My mother's name flashed on the screen. "Hey Mom. Everything okay? Can't a mother call her daughter without something being wrong? You usually text." "Well, I wanted to hear your voice." She paused. "And I was wondering if you'd all come for dinner next Sunday. I want to make my mofongo and Emma keeps asking when she can see Abuela." My heart warmed. My mother had embraced her grandmother role with surprising enthusiasm. She was softer with Emma than she'd ever been with me, more patient, more affectionate. "We'd love that. Should we bring anything?" "Just yourselves. And maybe some of those cookies you make. The chocolate ones." "Deal. How are you feeling?" "Good days and bad days. But more good lately." She was quiet for a moment. "I'm proud of you, Mija. Of the life you've built." "Thanks, Mom. That means a lot." After we hung up, I sat there for a moment feeling grateful. Grateful for this life, for the people in it, for the way everything had worked out even when it had seemed impossible. That evening, after the kids were in bed, Jessica and I stood in the backyard, looking up at the stars. "Do you think Daniel's okay?" Jessica asked. "He's been so moody lately." "He's 12. Moody is his natural state. But what if it's more than that? What if he's unhappy? What if we're failing him?" I took her hand. "We're not failing him. He's a good kid going through a difficult age. He knows we love him. He knows we're here for him." "His father called today," she said quietly. "Wants to see him again." This was a recurring theme. Marcus would disappear for months, then suddenly reappear, full of promises and good intentions. And every time Daniel got his hopes up only to be disappointed again. "What did you tell him?" "That he needs to be consistent or stay away. That Daniel deserves better than broken promises." She leaned her head on my shoulder. "He got defensive, said I was keeping his son from him." "You're protecting your son. There's a difference. I just hate that Daniel has to deal with this. That he has to wonder why his father doesn't prioritize him." "But he has us," I reminded her. "He has 2 parents who show up every day, who love him unconditionally. That's not nothing. It's everything," Jessica agreed. She turned to face me, her hands on my waist. "How do you always know the right thing to say?" "Years of practice dealing with difficult people." "I'm not difficult. You're incredibly difficult. But I love you anyway." She kissed me, soft and sweet, and we stood there in the quiet darkness, 2 women who'd found each other against all odds, who'd built something beautiful from nothing. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" "For taking a chance on me. On us. For not running when things got complicated." "Where else would I go?" I asked. "You're my home, Jessica. You and Daniel and Emma. You're everything. We're so lucky to have you." "I'm the lucky one." We went inside hand in hand and I thought about that first day standing outside this townhouse, well, the old townhouse, we'd moved since then, nervous and hopeful and terrified. I'd been looking for a job, for stability, for a way to support myself and my mother. I'd found so much more. I'd found love and family and purpose. I'd found a partner who challenged me and supported me, who saw me for who I was and loved me anyway. I'd found children who called me mom, who trusted me with their hearts and their hurts and their happiness. I'd found home. And as Jessica pulled me close in our bedroom as we made love and whispered promises and fell asleep tangled together, I knew with absolute certainty that all of this messy, complicated, beautiful chaos was exactly where I was meant to be.